So these are our game stats currently, and we have a few more things to do before I can officially close this game off. Because as you can see there, we still need to get the Itchy and Scratchy movie unlocked, but before I do that, and also before I showcase the level 7 collector cards, because, well, I did this for every other level. I have also turned the menu music off because it does get a bit repetitive after a while. It was purely a personal choice, not really a sentimental choice, as you just saw Maggie for a moment there. So once we've beaten the game, we pretty much get taken back to level 1 and more or less the beginning. But because we've pretty much done everything, what happens is we head to here. I'll admit, having the music off might be a little bit obscure to some of you since the music isn't copyrighted, but you know what, I think I'll turn it back on now because, well, we're in the level itself and because the music in general in this game is really good. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to look for the secret vehicles. And already I make a mistake by running into the glass truck. Should also admit, because pollen levels are high at the moment, my throat is not exactly in the best of conditions. At least if you're wanting to know what my excuse is for it feeling a little raunchy. And I am driving terribly right now. And the reason I'm driving this way is because, well, our first secret vehicle is pretty much this way. I could head by the school if I wanted to, but I wanted to take the more scenic route through the fucking power plant. And yep, the traffic is being a bitch again. Please stop. Okay. Hopefully we've passed the worst of it now, so...
Okay, that's a lawsuit.
Okay, can I please stop running into the traffic now? It's getting a little annoying. Okay. So we just need to head through the power plant. And can I make the jump? I do make the jump. And we need to head through this way, which is where the Stonecutter's corridor is, I believe. Unless it's just the hallway. Could just be the main hall, to be fair. And we should enter the rich district of Springfield now. And this is where we get our first of the 7 secret vehicles in this game. Our first one, of course, being the rocket car, which is in a pretty visible spot. And basically all we have to do is just press triangle.
Feel free to get a ride from anybody you see on the street. We Simpsons have done a lot for Springfield, so it's okay to get something back.
And apparently we also get a tutorial for the secret vehicles. Okay, cool and good. And this car does not steer very well. And also, aside from that, its toughness is very weak. So we can destroy this thing pretty quickly if we're not careful. Anyway, take the scenic route through the Stonecutter's hallway. And already I am taking serious damage in this car. So I should probably refrain myself from taking the unnecessary risks. considering this car is very fragile. Can I get it fixed? I at least get through the rest of the power plant unscathed, but my only question is, can I actually make it to the spanner without causing any further damage? Huh, I got a bonus coin from hitting a bush. And there's also the tobacco plant that I just ran into. Anyway, this is basically what we can do with our bonus cars. And that was enormous speed, and yet somehow it did not destroy the car. But anyway, I might as well, you know, drive this back to the Simpsons house because, well, you will have to fix this car a lot if you want to keep using it, and... Oh, okay. I just got barged into the telephone box there for a moment. I did not think the traffic was going to be quite that aggressive, but nonetheless, there we are. This is level 1, by the way, so access to the cemetery as well as Mr. Burns' house like we get in level 4. Those two places have been cornered off. I suppose I probably could go for a drive through pretty much the whole area if I wanted to. I think I might do that. And then I can just get back to the Simpsons house afterwards. Yep, this thing is very fast. Very fast, and also a bit on the unstable side. Okay, maybe driving it around the Springfield suburbs is not such a good idea.
Nothing lasts forever.
I suppose I probably could take it back to its original spot, because it's where the gold house is. And the traffic still continues to either run into me or I run into it. Oh, okay. Can I get out of here though? Would be nice if I could. Hey, I can. There is a way out. And there's a swimming pool. I figured there might have been a swimming pool there, but I wasn't sure what else there was. Anyway. That's the first secret vehicle of this game. And now we're going to move on to level 2, where we will get the monorail car. And I think if I remember, the mission closest to the monorail car, I think, is Vox Nerduli. So that's what I'm going to do. And yep, we're pretty much in the right place with Bart. We are, of course, Ninja Bart. And if we take a drive up to the abandoned monorail platform, which is pretty much right here. I also quite like how you actually get extra credits for knocking over the newspaper stand. I think that's actually really cool, to be honest. Even though I'm not really following the news right now because, well, to be honest, it's simply not worth my time. Anyway, this is our second bonus vehicle, the monorail car. I didn't think this thing is as fragile as the rocket car, but I would imagine there are probably a few differences, aside from it being slower, which in essence is what it is. Oh, yeah, this thing oversteers a lot. And it looks to be fragile as well, from what I can see. Okay, no, I'm definitely not risking it. This thing has one too many issues for me to take that jump. And it's also oversteering a lot, which means the rear is stepping out more than it should be. I am currently not having fun with this car. Or with this vehicle, I should say. Because I can hardly steer it. Can I at least get this?
I don't
Yes, I
remember this
can.
being here before.
And I'm going to try and do something similar to what I did before, but not drive on the Matlock Expressway, if that makes sense. Because I think that might take a little bit too long. I'll drive this thing up to the DMV, and then I'll move on to level 3. Because, to be honest, I'm a bit... what's the word? I'm a bit concerned in knowing how I should drive the monorail car, so I don't think I'm going to be driving this thing for too long, if that makes sense. Oh, can I actually get some bonus money from... oh, okay, I'm not going fast enough. This thing has got heavy damage. However, I think I'm going to wait for a second or two before committing to doing the devil's work. Okay, should be in the clear now.
Oh yeah, baby, bring it on.
Okay, so apparently because of a heavily damaged taxi, I did manage to get a few spare coins as a result. And we're now into the business district. And now we are out of the business district
Whoa,
as I head
wicked.
this way through the train yard.
That was totally awesome.
And still getting some extra coins. So I think what I'm going to do now is drive through here. Wait, was that Homer for a second, or someone who looked very similar to Homer? No, anyway. That's pretty much the monorail car thing done, because, well, why not? And now we'll move on to level 3. Because, well, I can't be bothered to drive on the Matlock Expressway, to be thoroughly honest. And I think it's this one that might be closest to our next bonus vehicle. So we're going to do this. Yeah, you know what? Close enough. I can take this one as being my exception for driving over to the Sea Spanker, which is where we need to head to get our next bonus vehicle. And we're now into the Squid Port. And, okay, a little close there, but I do know the road I need to take to get on board the Sea Spanker. Should also mention Lisa does have the Itchy and Scratchy movie thing, but we'll get round to that when we get round to it. Because right now, we need to get on board the Sea Spanker so we can then look for the Night Boat, which is our next bonus vehicle. So, I'm going to do this my way, because why not? And we need to look for the green crates, which should be somewhere around here. They're either at the stern of the boat or the bow of the boat. I think it's most likely the bow from what I can see. Oh wait, I see the crates. Even though they're technically called shipping containers, but I know how to get there. I think these containers here probably do give me a clue. And I think we should be able to find an entrance here. Huh, that was easier than I thought. But anyway, this is the Night Boat. And this is actually a pretty good vehicle, to be honest. It's definitely more durable than the previous two vehicles, as I hit the Malibu Stacy car, which from what I know is based on a combination of a Ferrari and a Chevrolet, but I couldn't tell you what vehicle it's based on precisely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive around and then probably make it back to the Sea Spanker just because, well, I feel a bit more confident with the Night Boat than I do the Monorail Car. I certainly feel safer at least, because, well, for starters it has a bit more durability. I do also quite like how this thing is actually based inside the top of the green containers. I think that's actually really cool, to be honest. As I am driving around the Springfield Harbour, and I will say that this thing is definitely an easier ride than the previous two vehicles were, because I actually have a little bit more control in the Night Boat than I do from the other two. I also quite like how Lisa's theme is very jazzy, Americana based, and I just sunk the boat. That was very much pun intended, by the way. And now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get back up on the ship and then basically park the boat there, because why not? I think out of all the vehicles I've driven so far, the Night Boat to me is currently the best one, even though I am yet to drive the other ones. Oh, I just made it. Somehow, someway, I just made it through. Okay, I think that's enough from the Night Boat for now. Let's now move on to level 4, which I believe is going to be the ATV. And I think I'm going to... we'll go with this one. It's the closest one to the trailer park. Okay, we are now Officer Marge, and all we have to do is make our way over to the trailer park, because it's right next to the redneck residence. And I think if I remember, it should be between two of the trailers where we should be able to get the ATV. If I can get the camera to move in the correct spot, then I should be able to locate it. There's definitely an ATV somewhere around here. Here it is. And it's in blue. How fitting. Even though the ATV in a lot of ways is also known as the quad bike. And I am also familiar, of course, with the ATV off-road series, which was quite popular back in the day. Before it became, I think it was called MV Unleashed, if I remember. That was what they changed the ATV series name to. I think it was called MV Unleashed, if I remember.
You're looking at some serious road rage.
Okay, this thing has got a lot of understeer. But anyway, driving through the power plant, and I failed to make the jump. Probably not too surprising, to be honest. And I think if I remember, because I didn't do it before, I can actually go through Mr. Burns' mansion. I don't want to make this too long, so I'm not going to be driving through every single area of this game. Was that a perfect 360 for a moment there? I think it might have been. Anyway, we can also drive through Mr. Burns' mansion, so I think I'll just do that. And then I think afterwards we'll... And then I think afterwards, as I knock over one of the chess pawns... Those giant chessboard things, by the way, those aren't real. There are plenty of households that do actually have those chessboard style decorations. Yeah, okay. I'm not sure how I feel about the ATV, to be honest. Feels a little bit unstable. At speed! Damn it. That was not intentional in any way whatsoever. That was completely accidental. Anyway. Yeah, I'm just gonna park it up back in the trailer park, because there's not really much else I can do. Okay, whatever. That's the ATV. And now, let's head over to the monster truck in level 5. Not sure which one to go for. Well, I suppose this one isn't too far from where the monster truck is located, so we'll choose this. Okay, I think we picked a good spot for this. So what we have to do is drive over there. We are, by the way, in the Firebird once again, which is Apu's default car. And all I have to do is just head this way, and here is the Obliteration big wheel truck, which I think is what it's actually called.
I am a lean, mean, vindaloo machine.
Anyway, because I didn't do it before, I think I will drive this thing over the Matlock Expressway, given I did not do that before. And also because, well,
Perhaps I should refrain from doing that in the future.
I can also get a look at the pretty much every road in the Springfield area. So let's drive on the Matlock Expressway. Could probably take the jump as well if I wanted to, but
This is just between me and you, random object.
I just want to try and see how far this thing can go. It's going to be fast
I can
enough.
see my house from here.
Huh. Just fast enough to make the jump. Okay. I will take that. Yeah, and I think if I remember, there should be
Oh,
another road
smashed
that
my
does
gun.
actually lead across the Matlock Expressway. Pretty sure this is it, from what I know.
perhaps I should refrain from doing that in the future.
At least I can say the monster truck is able to boot the traffic out the way.
What are you trying to prove with this crazy driving? Oh, never have I seen such a four-wheel disgrace.
I actually got some damage with this thing.
I smashed my skull. Whoa, no.
Hey, it actually
Whoa,
works.
no.
Nice. That was not intentional, by the way. At least I can say the grind for getting the bonus vehicle. At least I can say you don't have to grind to get these bonus vehicles. Wait, was I just here? I think I was.
300 horses of convenient power.
Anyway.
Clean up in aisle one. Whoa, no.
Oh, no, that's not it. I kind of want to get back to where I was before at the stadium, so I'll head this way. Since that's where I found the monster truck. I actually quite like how this thing is also called Obliterator. It definitely gives me those Bigfoot Gravedigger vibes, even though I'm not really a big fan of monster trucks. But you know, it is what it is. And also because I have already been recording this now for virtually 30 minutes. So I don't want to be here too much longer. Okay. That's the level 5 bonus vehicle now showcased. And now let's move on to level 6. Which one am I going to do? Well, that remains to be seen. Let's do Lab Coat Caper, because I think that's the nearest one to the Planet Hype building. Okay. And yep, I correctly predicted this is the nearest mission I can pick to get to Planet Type. And if I remember, there should be a secret spot somewhere that does showcase where the vehicle is. I'm also quite surprised that I can actually get on to this other side. However, I need to head on to the staircase to find my
Energy depleting. Need sugar.
fucking Planet Type car, which if I remember is somewhere around here. definitely around here. I haven't seen it personally, but I know it's definitely around here somewhere. I might. Oh, there it is. I see it. It's right there. And I just fell off the roof. Okay, let's try that again.
You're all mine.
Okay. There it is. Okay, took a little trial and error to get it right, but we managed to find our way through eventually. So this is our Cadillac DeVille, which is what the which is basically what the Planet Type 50s car is based on. At least I believe that's what it's meant to be. I mean, according to the wiki for this game, it is based largely off of the Cadillac DeVille. Oh, sorry, Carl. I'm pretty sure that was Carl I hit. Should also be mentioned that Carl and Lenny do actually have the most, I guess you could say, prophetic names imaginable, because I think the word is prophetic. But anyway, because one of them is called Carl Carlson, and the other one is called Lenny Leonard, which is perhaps probably the most easy way to remember two characters with very alliteratory names, because their formal names begin with two C's and also two L's. And I think whoever came up with those names in particular, I will definitely give them props.
No biggie.
Because the simplification of their names definitely works. Anyway. Okay. Right. Can I make the jump this time? Yes, I can.
Cost $900.
And if I just head this way, we are back at Planet Type.
Time to lay some rubber down.
Here we go. Can I get one extra coin? Yes, I can. Okay. So that's now 6 of the 7 bonus vehicles shown off. And now the one that I think most of you will no doubt be familiar with. And let's see. Yeah, we'll go with long black probes. Really, if you're asking me why I'm doing these things in the order that I do them in, well, it's simply because I just want to make sure that I am about as close on the mission selection screen as I can be to reaching the bonus vehicle locations. And our final bonus vehicle in this game is the remote control buggy, which is on the roof of the Krusty Burger. And I think because I'm in the mood for it, I'm just going to use the fire truck to get on top of the Krusty Burger, simply because, well, it's just easier that way. So this is our RC buggy, and yes, you can actually see Homer's head on top. The character quite literally does shrink with the size of the buggy, that I think is interesting. And I suppose if you're wanting to get into some tight spaces with this car, you can actually do that. As I will prove in just a second. I nearly hit a pedestrian there. So for example, we can head into the Simpsons backyard. This thing. Not sure if we can knock anything over except for the tree. Which I suppose I might as well do. Or try to do. Okay. And we can also sneak into the Flanders backyard as well. Because, well, there are basically no other vehicles in this game that can actually do this, and I think it's a good time to, you know, show that off, because I can. So, anyway, that's pretty much what we get with this particular part of level 7. And I think now that I've done that, I'm just going to drive this thing through the cemetery and then head back through the cemetery because I've more or less... Okay, I couldn't quite make the jump there, but either way I don't give a shit because, well, I'm just here to have fun because we've already beaten most of the game, and I also just remembered I need to showcase the collector cards. And then we can call it a day on this game. This truly fabulous game. And yep, I got slowed down. Can I actually make it up? No, I cannot. Oh, never mind. I can make it out of trouble. I did not think the Buggy was going to do that, but thankfully it did. Okay, I think I've wasted enough of your time now. Let's actually showcase the collector cards that we got from this level now. Because why not? Hey, 550 coins I'm back up to now. Nice. So now I just need to head this way and see if I can land on the roof of the Krusty Burger. And... nope. Bruh.
Just call me Air Homer.
Okay, we got it this time.
I wish I had a dog with a saddle.
And, to be honest, I think the bonus vehicles are actually really cool. I think the RC Buggy definitely deserves an honourable mention. But if you're asking me what my top 3 bonus vehicles are in this game, well, I would personally rank my top 3 as being the Night Boat, then I would put in the Planet Hype car, and then afterwards, I think probably the Monster Truck. At least in this game, that's what I would rank my top 3 as. I don't have a specific ranking overall of worst to best for each of these secret vehicles, but I am glad I got to showcase them when I did. So now, let's view our collector cards, since we did not do that before. And I'm also going to take a drink for a second, so BRB. Okay, these are our collector cards that we got from level 7, and also because, well, I ran out of time before I could showcase these. Anyway. The Devil and Homer Simpson. When Homer runs out of donuts at work, he sells his soul to Devil Flanders for a tasty donut. And we also got 2 quotes from Mr. Burns and Mr. Smithers. Next up, we have the Krusty Doll. Clown without pity. This talking doll was bent on murdering Homer until the repairman was called in to set it switch to good instead of evil. Okay. Hungry Are the Damned, Human Cookbook. The cookbook used by Kodos to prepare fried shrimp for Lisa, sloppy joes for Bart, pork chops for Homer, and radish rosettes for Marge. As we get the two quotes from Marge and Kodos. Should also mention the guy who voices Kang and Kodos. It's the same guy who voices Homer and Krusty and numerous other characters. Basically, the voice of Kang and Kodos is the same guy who does the voice of Homer, and his name is Dan Castellaneta. Just to give you a reference. Time Travel Toaster from Time and Punishment. Homer accidentally turned his toaster into a time machine, thus doing irreparable harm to the space-time continuum. And our two quotes are from Groundskeeper Willie and also from Maggie. I also quite like how in the main menu we actually do get to see Maggie make a brief appearance. I think that's actually a neat little detail to include. Hell to Pay, I think is how it's pronounced. That's definitely a toupee. Anyway. After Snake's execution, his body was carved up for organs, and Homer got Snake's hair transplanted. Onto his head. I think that's right. Okay, next. Monkey's Paw, Lisa's Nightmare. A cursed monkey's paw sold to Homer by the former president of Algeria. Interesting. Also pretty sure if I remember, Algeria technically are competing in the World Cup as well. Since I should mention that because, well, the World Cup is going on at the moment. Anyway. And last but not least, the Smarch calendar. Nightmare on Evergreen Terrace. Willie died on the 13th hour of the 13th day of the 13th month. So in other words, 13-13-13. At a PTA meeting in Springfield Elementary, according to the school's calendar. Pretty sure if I remember, this was technically a Treehouse of Horror sketch with the Smarch calendar, I think it was. But anyway, two quotes we get here are from Homer and Marge, and basically, that's now a good place to end this episode. And so, that will do it for episode 31 of Simpsons Hit&Run. If you enjoyed, make sure to give this video a like, as it does help me out a lot. And if you're feeling inclined enough to subscribe, then that also helps me out a lot. Hopefully trying to get myself going somewhere since we're now in summer. And feel free to leave your thoughts down below if you want about this game and whatever else you have on your mind in the world of video games. And we will see you next time for more Simpsons Hit&Run.